Christ, oh fucking mighty, man. You do one thing and it eats shit. This never happens. This is bullshit.
We fed the squirrels this time. It should work.
What the fuck? Let's hope it works. I'm in the green. I'm in the fucking green. This is retarded. This is absolutely fucking retarded. Oh. Oh. What? I'm so lost. Anyway. Okay.
Okay.
JT, shut the fuck up. I can't fucking concentrate. Jesus H. Christ. Jesus H. Christ. Anyway. Once again, I done fucked up my fuck stick. And
Jesus H. Christ.
I know, dude. How unfucking prepared am I? But it happens. One chord, I fucked up. I fucked up. Joseph Lowndes, however you say that. Yeah, dude, okay. If I ate carbon sugar, this would be happening. Look, JT, shut the fuck up. God damn it. I can multitask, but fuck, I'm having a goddamn hematoma in my penile system right now. Shut the fuck up. I love you, but shut the fuck up.
Was it you, you scroungy little fuck?
Shit. if I'm getting hit from my flanks, I can't go hard to paint. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can. It depends. Yeah, fuck, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Is Trump fucked up?
Is what? Say that again.
Has Trump fucked up?
Has Trump fucked up? No, I mean, I think he's just chilling, while like Kim and Moon over there shaking hands and, kissing babies and like, I don't know, ending a war.
So they're foxing? Kim and Moon Pie? Little Kim and Moon Pie?
Yeah, Asian Cartman and stuff, they're like over there ending a war.
Golly. I'm glad
Deep
they are though.
breaths.
Look, I'm glad. Okay, check this out. This is a thought I had. Everybody's like, "Oh, Trump set that up." I don't give a fuck. I'm glad they did it, but I'm skeptical. Reason being, I was stationed over there, and now they're saying you can walk freely between North and South Korea. There's a shitload of fucking army bases right there at the DMZ. A fuckload. Casey, Red Cloud. I think it's Red Cloud.
Yeah, there's a red cloud up there.
What else? Right there, right up in fucking the combat area 1. I know
Oh,
it's
there's
not
so
happening
many
yet,
of them. I
cause
can't even remember all the names of them.
I know it's not a camp fucking camp smallpox where you get that shot. That's what I call it anyway. Right outside of Casey, Stanley, Ouijanbu, all those fucking places over there, right?
Right.
I know it's not happening yet, cause, but this is what I'm saying. You let them motherfuckers. No, they ain't just gonna be like, oh, you let us walk across the line, huh? You let us walk across the line? Oh, fucking Kimmy. I don't trust his motherfucking fat ass. I don't. So, what I'm saying is, this is a tactical fucking thing. In my soul, I believe Kimmy's gonna let these fucking North kimchi eating motherfuckers come down to the southern side. They're gonna get around our base and fucking light us up. I'm sure the command at all these places are fucking shitting a brick.
I don't think it's going to happen like overnight where they can just like, or everybody can cross over. for one, it's not like they can walk over. It's still like fenced and fortified. There's still landmines all over that place. So it's not like I don't think, everybody in North Korea is just going to like, start walking across the border tomorrow.
Well, I mean, of course, but it's going to take a time. It takes a long time to get into a girl's panties. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. It takes a real fucking long time to sweeten up that butter. It does. You gotta work it, and that's what Lil Oon done. Lil fucking Kim. He's been sweetening up that butter. He's been real aggressive at first. I'm gonna blow shit up. Thanks for letting me get into the Olympics down there. Let me get some silver and gold. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. I see what you're saying. Like now he's like, okay, now I'm not gonna blow stuff up no more. He's like taking the sweeter route.
He's doing a sweet route, and then he's gonna jam it up that ass. That's what the fuck he's gonna do.
I don't know. I wouldn't like trust someone overnight either. Like I but you know me, I'm skeptical about everything.
Yeah, well,
I spent too much time over there.
I'm I believe that he ate a little bit too much kimchi.
What the fuck is that?
That's a little Kim, son. Fuck. He's gonna come fuck goddamn South Korea right in its little ass. He's gonna snatch it into the fucking whorehouse and take all its money.
Bullshit, I can't hear you.
Well, fuck you, Gunny, because that's what's happening. I believe it. I believe it. I absolutely fucking believe it. I don't give a fuck what Trump did or if he did or didn't fucking get them to kiss and make up and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Lil Kim still hates the fuck out of us. He does. You can't get over that. You can't look. North Korea was fucked up. They shouldn't have invaded South Korea, but we fucked them up. Bad. Real fucking bad. Goddamn, JT, I can't read all that shit. I can. Okay.
No,
I read chimney.
Technically, all they're supposedly doing is, trying to officially end their war, but again, that's what they're agreeing to do. I don't even think they've actually done that yet. So far, they've put on a dog and pony show. That's all they've done.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But they signed the Declaration of Peace, right? The end of the treaty, the end
I
of the
don't know.
war,
I'll have to see if they've
The
actually
ceasefire?
signed it.
the end of the ceasefire.
Right, because they just had, armistice. They haven't, officially ended a war, that happened like 50 years ago. I'll have to look and see what they actually signed because I don't think they actually signed it. It really was just like, oh, here, dog and pony show, let me step across and then you step across. And I get it. It's historic and, everybody's filming it and it is a huge step, but so far it's just, hey, look at us, we're doing something, but nothing's actually happened.
Until I see Kim and Moon fucking, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Until I see a pornography of them two, I just don't see it happening. And with Trump in the corner jacking it and Putin over there recording it. I just don't see it, man. These guys are straight fuck boys. And this geopolitical nonsense is going around the world. I've been around the world tonight, and I can't find my baby. Oh, that song was good too. But I don't buy it, dude. I don't. I think hopefully it's I'm really glad that there's peace at this point. But, I mean, this year, fucking Lil Kim said, well, I'm going to bomb Guam.
Right, that wasn't long ago. I'm trying to read exactly what it is they agreed to, and I guess they did agree to completely cease all hostile acts against each other in every domain, including land, air, and sea. So,
but I know they're trying to
and that's as of May 1st
denuclearize.
of this year. So they got a couple more days.
I think what the denuclearize their programs or whatever. I don't know. Okay, check this out. I had this thought today because I listened to Dan Carlin and he spit some knowledge to me. I don't know if you know who Dan Carlin is, but he is the host of a show called Hardcore History. And I am addicted to that shit. I love history. And he was talking about nuclear bombs and the role they play today in our life, and have been since 1945. And I compared it with I took the perspective of if I was sitting and trying to explain my case in front of Congress, right? Let's just say I'm just sitting at where the Zuckerfuck was sitting the other day, and I've got Congress in front of me, a board or whatever, and they're talking to me about gun control. And I was thinking like, okay, and this was the sentence I would say. I would say, all right, you want to take our guns from us. This is on a small scale. Small scale. Let's just ramp this scale up a bazillion fold. Other countries that we deem bad have nuclear weapons. We have nuclear weapons. Just trade the word nuclear weapons for guns. You're not going to not have them. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to not have nuclear fucking weapons to shoot back. Same with us. That was my comparison in the whole fucking thing. And I'd be like, Congress, y'all got fucking nukes. Chill the fuck out. You hypocrite fucks. You know? That's what I would say. But the nukes have changed the whole fucking world. And we got a crazy motherfuckers that's got them. I know this is not like the Cold War era. I talked to my mom today about when the Cuban Missile Crisis happened. And she said like the way back, I think it was 69, 68, 69 in that area, 67. And she says it was fucking crazy. And my grandpa was in the military, and they're like, and they were down in Florida, and he was like, yeah, she told me that he was like going through all these preparations, that he had orders to do this and this and this to their house, this in 62, cool, whatever. And I was like, God damn. She's like, it was fucking crazy. It was absolutely nuts. And she's like, when JFK died, it was even worse. Poor JFK. Poor guy, man. Poor dude. They hated him so bad, and he had so much shit to deal with, man. All those fuckheads. And it's all because of this nuclear war. Fucking Russia ended up figuring out the goddamn nuclear bomb and got good at it. I know JFK was president, you fuck. Jesus Christ. So I'm just that in that context, we have so many nukes and shit like that. So across the world. And I'm like, God damn, we don't, nobody needs to have the motherfuckers, but we can't afford not to. It's like, shit. What do you do?
Well, that's the deterrent, so that nobody uses them, because you don't want to get hit back with one.
I know.
I don't know. That's my opinion of it. It's like, that's the reason why we will still have them, is because as long as someone else has one, we need to have them.
I know, man. It sucks, man. It really fucking sucks. I wish nobody fucking had them. That it wouldn't even have to come to that point. What would you have to do to get so fucking mad to nuke somebody? Like I watch these documentaries of Japan and shit. Poor fucking folks, man. Poor people. Right. They went through some shit. And I know you motherfuckers like, oh, fuck the Japs and shit like that, and we did it for a reason, this and that and this and that. Besides the political ramifications of this, besides it ending the war, besides all this, all these other people that had not a goddamn thing to do with it, just fucking imagine, you're sitting there, you're a kid, you're in school. You don't know what all these dumbass adults are doing. You're sitting there in school, you're going out and you go play, and suddenly, The motherfucking sun explodes right next door. You're far enough away not to get just straight evaporated, but you get sunburned to the point your fucking skin is melting off, and all your friends and family and everybody's skin's melting off, and you don't know what the fuck happened. I'm just like, God damn, poor kids, dude. Poor fucking people. And I know folks are saying that's the price of war.
Well, at
I guess.
that time, they were willing to, we were willing to do that as a country, bomb two cities to end a war. And we're not now.
You're right.
That's
you're
why
right.
we have wars that are lasting 20 years.
You're right. You're right. We can Moab the fuck out of them. I just wish it would just quit. I wish all this just nonsense would just quit and we can come together as human beings. As humans, I try to look at the perspective of everybody. I looked at the perspective of my enemy in Iraq. I try to do some soul searching and look at all this shit, and I'm just like, God damn. In a way, America is just like, I don't know, man. I love America. I've been here my whole life. I've been American my whole life.
Well, your whole life? You sure? No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, if we could, use any type of bomb and take out, but that's just it. They'll only take out targets that they know are military targets. We're not going to, let that type of collateral damage happen again.
I hope so. Obama fucking slung him, though. That was a drone king right there. He was the drone fucking king. He was smoking everybody. Everybody. He didn't give a fuck. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, war, what is it good for? I don't know. I'm getting soft in my old age, I guess. My young old age. I just want everybody to fucking smoke a blunt, relieve their mind, and the world would be a better place. Just smoke a blunt, people. Or smoke a bowl. Whatever you want. Just...
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
I know, man. I'm just trying to fucking just be cool about it, Everybody ride a horse. Everybody get a goddamn... If everybody could get like an otter, they would be happy. Or a small pup. Get you a small dog or a big dog that shits in your backyard. Massive loads. Whatever makes you happy. That's what shout out to Anna. It's her birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm being real internal with myself right now. And what the okay, this fucking kid, and I gotta find it. I've got to find it. I'm so upset right now. You know what? I gotta give a shout out also to Maddie. That all of us adults and her had this conversation that really opened up my eyes about shit, That night that we sat down and we had a conversation, and I'm looking for the perspective of this young woman and talking to these old fucking war vets, you know what I'm saying? And she's just like, they seen some shit, you know what I'm saying? And we're talking about race and politics and things of the world. That conversation put my brain into perspective. So I got to give a shout out to her. Super smart woman, good girl, and she's going to go far in life. Going to go real fucking far. It was just a great conversation, and I was really honored and privileged to have that with her. And it kind of put things in perspective for me. Like, shit, we gotta slow our roll out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? We can't be going balls deep all the time. So, Alfie Evans, I don't know if you know who this young man is, this little baby. Apparently, the government, I think it's the British government, took the kid off of life support. The docs wanted to pull the plug. The parents said, fuck no. The court gets into it. The state gets into it. Rules to pull the plug anyway. The kid survives. Italy even offers a free plane ticket and medical care to the kid for free to keep him alive. The court orders no for the docs to stop feeding the kid. The kid dies. It's just a little baby. Why? Why? This is so fucked up, man.
I had just saw that story. I had a hard time even reading it. I like had to close it like 3 times. I don't even think I've made it through the entire story yet.
It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Fuck Britain on that tip. And fuck those people in charge of that whole chain, whatever that happened. Fuck those motherfuckers to hell. Fuck them. They're pieces of shit, dude. It's a little baby. They don't. These motherfuckers don't care about us, dude. They don't give a fuck about us. We don't give a fuck about your kids. I don't know, Casey. Italy said they'd bring. Italy told the parents that, like, hey, we got y'all a ticket. We're gonna fly you down to Italy and save your kid's life. And the British government's like, no. You have to keep him here in this bed to die. We don't even give him medical treatment. You got to keep him here to die. Down with the government. That's what I mean. Shout out Red Leg on that one. Fuck. I mean, this shit is ridiculous, dude. I'm just, you fucking with kids, man. Just fuck you all the way. Try to do something crazy to my kid, I'm gonna kill everybody. There ain't no getting around it. I'll die for my fucking kid. You fuck with my kid, I'm going to murder every single body in a radius. I tell you that. That's just, you got to. And I couldn't imagine these parents just what the fuck they're going through, dude. Just brick wall after brick wall, and it gets higher and higher and higher. And they are literally helpless. Yeah, fuck the Queen. Italy granted Alfie citizenship and offered to care for him. The UK said no. Now Italy is considering taking the UK to court. Good. Fuck that Queen. Fuck that whole family.
Everybody talks about, they want government health care, and that's the downside. That's case of it right there. Get the government involved in it.
But I mean, you should think that even if it's government healthcare and they're running shit, right? They're running shit. You think that there's some doctors in there that say fuck the system.
You would think. I mean, I couldn't be a doctor and deny a child anything.
Exactly.
It's probably why I will never be a doctor or a nurse. I couldn't work in healthcare, period, for that very reason. Before I joined the military, I was a nurse's assistant, years ago when I was, youngin'. And I worked in nursing homes.
Yeah.
These are old people that, are at the end of their life. And that was one thing. I could never do it with children. I just couldn't. I don't have that in me to see a kid be sick. And no, I just couldn't do it. I'm sure people can. It just wouldn't be me.
I'll give it up to Sedania on that one. It is Agenda 21. I'll give you that. You're right. You're right on that one, man.
You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, it's really fucking sad, dude. It pisses me off. It really, really fucking pisses me off. You can't be doing these to these fucking kids, man.
Cause brought up a good point. Duchess just had her third child. If it was her kids that needed that kind of medical care, I'm sure it would be different.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's that royal inbred blood. I don't know if it's inbred these days, but back in the day it used to be.
Oh yeah, back in the day, of course. But again, I'm sure, like I said, if you got money, it'll be different.
Yeah. and it's hard to think. It's just, the kid don't have nothing to do. The motherfucker just got sick, man, and the parents can only do what the parents fucking can do. Are these parents like? No matter what the fucking parents did, I don't give a fuck if the parents flew the goddamn plane in the World Trade Center. I don't give a fuck if the parents massacred 50. I don't care if they were the shooters at Las Vegas. Their kids didn't do it.
Right.
Like, the sins of our father. I don't know the reason behind it, why they fucking did that, but fuck them all the way. Fuck nasty, nasty pieces of shit. And I hope the citizens go storm the goddamn palace. Or whoever was in charge of that. I hope they storm that shit in the old days and chop them in the guillotine. I hope they get that chopped ham.
Well, supposedly he was terminally ill, but again, I'm not a doctor. Don't know exactly what it was, but still, just like, okay, let him starve to death now. That's just, I don't know. We treat prisoners better.
I'd feel better if they took him out back and put a bullet in his little head. To be honest, not let him fucking suffer. If you're going to go that fucking route, go the fucking route. But shit. I'd felt more comfortable. I don't know. I've been just as pissed off. I'm talking shit right now.
I know, but still, it's
just and putting the parents through that shit and putting him through that shit, just miserable. He didn't deserve that shit. But this is a lesson learned. I will say that. On fucking humanity. On humanity. There's nothing to justify their actions. And I hope they all get butt fucked.
I don't see how a judge can even order that. Like, okay, I know more than a doctor does now because, I went to law school.
Exactly. And that's, yeah. I don't give a fuck about your rules. This is morality, son. This is morality. If he was terminally ill, make him as comfortable as possible till his day's end. Medically, make him comfortable and the parents comfortable as possible. That goes to your fucking Hippocratic vote or oath or whatever. Is it Hippocratic? Not Hippocratic. I'm probably way off. Hippocratic.
Right.
That goes to your oath. And poor nurses are like, they wanted to fucking help, and some doctors were wanting to help because that's what they do. But then they got the government coming in there fucking putting their hands in their pockets and being all playing with Dickie on the side. No. I lost my job over that, I mean, fuck you, Judge. Fuck you. It's their healthcare system. Shit, it happens here too. We got vets dying in the goddamn waiting room. That's what I'm saying. It is, and you fucking right. It is break time, Spanky. Shout out. I'm gonna do a little bit of something different. I'm gonna play. Assuming we survive, I want to play "I'm Yours" because I like a little love song. I like little love songs from time to time. Do you like love songs?
From time to time.
Yeah. I like booty jams. I really love booty jams, and I really like dirty shit, and I really like all kind of different music. But right now, I want to play a love song from Assuming We Survive. It should touch you in your heart. It should pump it a little bit, It should do that sound to your heart.
Oh.
You know.
I'll let you know how my heart, what it sounds like when it's done.
I hope it burps, but with passion. And when we come back, we're going to have our guest on, Dave Champion. What a fucking last name, you know what I'm saying? It's just a beautiful thing. So, I'm going to get the fuck out of here for a second, and we will be white black.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey guys, welcome back. It is time. It is time. Hell yeah. I'm so happy. I'm excited. I'm almost giddy to this point. I'm slightly man crushing. There's so much information that's going to happen to your ear holes tonight. Information that you might need in your life. I don't know if you're up or down in your life, but there's a little thing called health, and that can improve it tenfold. And I know some of you out there are probably just drinking beer right now, being a shithead. I don't blame you. That's the way us veterans work. But tonight, our guest is here, Dave Champion. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, man, what's going on, Jay? Good to be here. Thank you.
I am super, super excited. Today is a good day. I've been thinking about this all day, all week, actually. When I saw your Facebook page and you hit me up about this keto diet and the way to go about it, I was just enthralled with it. And, buddy, it's been 2 weeks, and I'm down 18 pounds.
Are you really? That's awesome. You know, I didn't realize when Leanne was talking to me about doing this, I didn't realize you were doing the keto thing.
I am. And Kilo 6, he when I started talking about it, I put a post up a while back and said, I have achieved ketosis. And and he sent me to your page, and I was talking to you about it, and you just hit me with all this information nuclear bomb, and I was just like, fuck yeah. You gave me the app. You directed me to the app, and I was just, oh, shit. And then I started reading about the science of it. And, of course, Joe Rogan. I listen to him all the time, and they always talking about that, and Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and I was just like, okay, I've heard this thing a bazillion times.
Yeah, keto diet. You know, and you're saying, well, you're in ketosis, and I'm sure most of your audience is like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so let's explain what ketosis is to everybody.
Okay. First of all, what Jay and I are doing is something called the keto diet. And the reason it's called the keto diet is it relies on something called ketosis. And what you're doing when you go into the keto diet, you go into this with intent. We need to be really clear about this, right, Jay? This is not something you can do half-ass.
Yeah.
So you want to go in and you want to put your body in ketosis. Now, the keto diet isn't just ketosis. And let me explain this for a moment. When you go into ketosis, what you do is you cut way, way back on the carbs dramatically. When I get to the numbers, you're going to freak, okay? You want to cut your carbs down very, very low, pretty darn close to zero. What that's going to do, your body uses carbs for energy. So when you don't give it any more carbs and there's no energy to be had, there's a survival mechanism wherein your body switches from consuming carbs as an energy source to consuming fat, dietary and body, as an energy source. At that time, when it flips from one to the other, that's called going into ketosis. Now, I need to be really clear about something because there's a lot of confusion about this, and it leaves room for people to talk crap. Being in ketosis is not all there is to the keto diet. For instance, if you went hardcore Atkins on steroids, you would go into ketosis, but you would not be on the keto diet. What makes the keto diet what it is not only do you pare your carbs down to 5% or less of your daily intake of macros being protein, carbs, and fats. Not only do you cut your carbs down to 5% of your total intake, but you raise your fat to 75 to 80% of your diet. So if you do something like, to clarify, if you do something like Atkins, where you really cut down on the carbs, but you don't drive that fat content, because your body can only consume one of two things, carbs or fat. So when you force your body into ketosis where it no longer has carbs and it needs fat, guess what you better give it? If not, you end up absolutely miserable because your body, you're no longer giving it carbs, the traditional source of fuel, and you're not giving it now the source of fuel it needs for ketosis, which is fat, which means you're going to be miserable. You're going to feel lethargic. You're going to say this absolutely sucks. And then if you're doing what I'm doing and what Jay is doing, where you're actually on the keto diet, where you're running 75, 80% fat every single day in your diet, then you say, wow, this is phenomenal. I feel great. Yes,
It's
Jay?
energy. It's absolute clean energy when you wake up in the morning. It's like you don't have that luggy feeling. You're just up and at 'em and go, go, go. And you literally, once you get over the keto flu where your body's going, oh, what the fuck just happened here? I'm not burning this bullshit over here. Let's throw this hoe in the hyperdrive. And it really does. I mean, fuck energy drinks, fuck all that. I don't know. That White Monster's pretty good. That zero carb.
No lie, right?
It's great. But it's clean,
Gotta
clean
be sugar
energy.
free. If you're on keto, you gotta have the sugar-free energy drinks if you're gonna go that route at all.
I was
Gotta be
down in
sugar-free.
Texas last weekend, and I was with Spanky, and everybody around me is fucking having sugar, and I'm just like, I'm foaming at the mouth like, you dirty bastards. But like, I really, she's my advocate on it. I didn't cheat. I didn't anything. I was really strict with myself, and I did good. I haven't cheated yet, and if it has sugar in it, I never looked at the label before. And now I'm looking at the label and I'm looking at my app. I'm like, nope, can't do it. And I'm really, really, really trying to stick to it because I'm going to be a lean, mean machine.
Now, you lost 18 pounds. Let me share with your audience, I'm 55 days into this, and I am 26 and a half pounds down. Now,
That's amazing.
I'm not 26 and a half pounds down, and I feel like shit, which is how it normally rolls, right, with dieting?
Yeah.
I'm 26 and a half pounds down, and I feel freaking phenomenal.
It's crazy.
That's the difference between the keto diet and probably any other diet. You know, we shouldn't even use the word diet, right? Jay, you're familiar with this. It's not really a diet. It's a way of eating. And for me, I've determined it's going to be my lifestyle from here on out. I just did a post on my personal Facebook page this morning that says, knowing everything I know now and all the research I did leading up to the keto and all the research I've done since I've been on keto, and of course the experience of being in ketosis, I could never go back to the standard American diet known as SAD. How appropriate is that?
Yeah.
I could never go back to that because I would feel at this point, knowing what I know, doing what I'm doing, that I would be poisoning my body again.
Exactly. And I kind of want to compare it to a pillhead. Like they're scared of getting sick, scared of the withdrawals. I'm scared of what sugar will do to me. That's the way I've wired my mind.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you're aware, and I'm just going to use this as a parallel. I wrote a book called Income Tax Shattering the Myths, where I talk about the fact that the income tax doesn't apply to the vast majority of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reality is 95% of Americans don't know anything about that, right?
True.
Right. And the keto diet, you'll relate to this, is sort of like that. You and I, we're in this, whatever it is, 2% of the American population that's doing keto. And we look out at these other 98% and we're like, oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
But I don't want to be like, we are a small community of this, but I don't want to, we're not like those crazy vegans. Like they want to just kill everything and kill everybody for not eating plants or for eating meat. Now we want to share this. And the only reason I really got on this diet, and I've never dieted before, is because of the science behind it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm a man of logic, and when I studied this, and I'm like, well, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yes, and some of the lies that have led the whole American public down this horrible health thing. Can I share with your audience something I discovered about myself when I went into keto?
100%.
Now, I want your audience to know that about 18 months ago, I started going to the doctors. And I said, look, there are these things that are true about me suddenly now that physically have never been true of me before. Okay. I was gaining fat, especially around the waist. It didn't matter what I did. I could tighten and tighten and tighten my diet. I could quadruple my cardio. I could do whatever I wanted to do. It wouldn't stop. And in about 2 years, I went from a 34 waist to a 38 waist, no matter what I did. I had this crazy bloating after I would eat. My abdomen would just puff out like crazy. Looked like I just gained 25 or 30 pounds. I was exhausted in the afternoon. Sometimes I'd have to come home in the afternoon and take a nap. I was getting sick more often. I noticed that my skin, my face and my head, I shaved my head so it's really clear. I can see I was getting more oily. So when I went to the doctors and I said, look, all this stuff's going down and it's not me. So something's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. One of the first tests they did, they found out that I had a fatty liver. Okay.
Likewise.
Now fatty liver, it's sort of like the entry phase to, the kind of thing you see when somebody's abusing alcohol, a really heavy drinker. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fatty livers are very, very common in heavy drinkers and eventually lead to more serious problems. And in fact, can kill you in the long run. So all these things were true. And I saw MDs, I saw nurse practitioners, I saw physician's assistants, I saw people in the medical community who fancied themselves more holistic. And nobody said these words to me. Dave, I think you're insulin resistant, which is mind-boggling because what I just shared with you is a symptom list that should be screaming at any medical professional, insulin resistance, because those are the symptoms of insulin resistance, which is essentially pre-diabetic. Okay, you go from pre-diabetic into either type 2 or in bad cases into type 1 diabetic. So I've got this right, and the doctors for 18 months I was on this medication to keep my stomach from bloating, and they didn't know, and they kept searching, and they were doing these very expensive molecular level blood tests, and nothing. Even though the symptom list should have screamed at all of these assholes, insulin resistance. So I get on keto. Every single one of the symptoms I just shared with you went away within like 3 days. By the fourth day, I stopped taking the medication that I had been given by the gastro. I've never looked back. And here's what it really boils down to. What is the difference between not being insulin resistant and being insulin resistant, but no longer repeating the physical cycle that kicks the insulin resistance into effect? So you're not experiencing it anymore. What's the difference between not having it and not experiencing it anymore? Zero.
Exactly.
So even though it turned out I was insulin resistant, by the way, the way I found out, you talked about the science and the education a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a doctor. You might have watched him yourself on YouTube, Eric Berg.
Yes.
27 years in practice, and I'm watching one of his videos, and just in the flow of his conversation, he says, well, and here's the symptoms of insulin resistant, blah, 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 blah. If you're experiencing most of these, you're almost certainly insulin resistant.
Yep.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? A doctor on YouTube nailed it, but the medical personnel I'm seeing have no fucking clue.
YouTube is college, man. That's free college.
No lie. So I wanted to share with your audience. I mean, there's diabetic we can talk about because there's some stuff going on there too. But I wanted to share with your audience how dramatic, because I can't tell you how fortunate, how amazingly fortunate I feel to have all of that gone out of my life. And it's all because of keto. Let me know what you want to talk about next, Jay. But one thing I think is really going to be interesting, people, when they hear 80% fat in the diet, I'm almost certain that a lot of your audience is scratching their head and going, oh, my fucking cholesterol is going to go through the roof. My doctor will shit himself if I do this.
It's not like that. It's okay. On a biological level, we humans did not evolve to take refined sugar. Our bodies freak the fuck out, especially when you eat it with bread. Bread, carbs, and everything. Carbs turn into sugar. And then you throw refined sugar on top of it. And your body goes, what the fuck is going on? And you do that over and over and over and over. And soda and all this shit. It's delicious, don't get me wrong. bread, pasta, fucking Coke. I love it. It's been the crux of my life forever. But as soon as I cut that shit out, my body was like, oh, this is what it's like to be human. And my liver's like, thanks, bro. Thanks for all this water.
Well said.
It's
That,
so
yeah,
it's
that
easy.
part about that, this is what it's like to be human. I mean, you just nailed very much from like kind of an emotional point of view how I feel since I went into ketosis.
It's a strange feeling, and it's with, if I can compare it, or couple it along with PTSD, and a lot of our audience has that, and a part of PTSD is kind of, I know a lot of people will stress eat because food is comforting, and that could be also a bad thing in the long run. Getting out and getting healthy and putting your mind to something to better yourself, this really helps me. I think clearly. I've been writing so much better lately also. My mind is firing on all cylinders now, and I'm so clear. And with PTSD and your guys' experience, it's just it's a jump up on it. It really is. If you have a good diet, if you have the active lifestyle, I promise you. And if you smoke a little weed, y'all got to smoke a little weed. Quit taking these pills. I'm just.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
You
y'all hit
know,
the CBD.
these prescriptions are killing our people.
Man,
That's a fact.
that's a great. Actually, that's a great segue. We can jump right into that because I'm in 100% agreement with you. Fuck big pharma.
Hey, speaking of big pharma and the lie, can I tell your audience about the big cholesterol lie and how it started?
You can. Oh yeah, you can go shit.
Okay,
Fire
'cause this
mission. Hit
ties
'em.
right into the concern over the 80% fat in the keto diet, right? Okay, so, and I hear this all the time. People say to me, my God, you're going to have a heart attack. You can't be eating bacon and eggs multiple times a day and avocados and oils. And oh my God, any doctor in the world will tell you you're going to die. And it's all a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Let me tell you where the lie started with this. This is really important for people to understand. There was a doctor named Ansel Keys back in the 1950s. And, a lot of things that we hear, and Jay, we all know this, a lot of things we're getting from authority sources.
Yeah.
The establishment, we're learning it complete bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go. So Ansel Keys, he decides he has a hypothesis, and that hypothesis is that high cholesterol leads to heart disease and death. So he goes out to prove this, and he does research in 22 countries around the world. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
However, when he writes his report, it only references 7 of the 22 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Well, it's because he only used the 7 countries that validated his hypothesis that high cholesterol leads to heart disease. The other 15 countries he left out because they did not support his hypotheses. For instance, some of the countries had incredibly high fat diets and virtually no heart disease.
Like the Incan, not the Incans, but the I know Eskimo is a
right. There's one.
That's
Also, the northern countries in Europe.
Yep.
And then he had other countries that had really, really low fat diets and super high cardioid disease. So he left out the results that were inconvenient to the hypothesis he wanted to prove. So he publishes this paper, and all of a sudden, I mean, literally, he was on the Johnny Carson show, which you remember back in the day was, if you didn't watch Johnny Carson, you were nobody.
Well, I'm only 32, so I know a little bit of it. I know who he is.
Yeah.
I never really watched it.
Oh, you missed out. But I'm an old guy. So, and then he was on. He was featured in Time magazine, and this shit went what we would call today viral, and the entire country and the medical community adopted because they said he did the research. Why wouldn't you adopt it? This press. I mean, he was like a graduate of Princeton Medical, something like that. And why wouldn't you adopt this thing that he proved by his research? Of course, nobody knew he had scammed at the time, right? So they all adopt this high cholesterol will kill you bullshit, that LDL cholesterol is bad and HDL cholesterol is good, and so forth. So for the last 70 years or 65 years since he published this report, Americans have been killing themselves, literally, physically, biologically, physiologically killing themselves with this bullshit low fat, low cholesterol diet. And here's the deal. Your body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is good. Your body, in fact, 2/3 of all the cholesterol in your body is produced by your own body every single day. And here's the thing. If you reduce the amount of fat and hence cholesterol that you get in your body will make more cholesterol to offset it. If you increase the amount of fats and cholesterol that you take in through dietary sources, your body will decrease its production of cholesterol to find the balance that your body needs. And your body ain't wrong. The
Nope.
doctors are wrong.
Yep.
Now, one thing I want to say, because I don't want to leave people without the really important information. These are all called lipids. One of the lipid results that you do want to look at that is very important, that's not part of the Ansel Keys bullshit, is triglycerides. If you have high triglycerides, you are scientifically in bad shape. Bad shit's going to happen in your life. You're going to get heart disease and bad things are going to happen. So I'll give you an example. After I was on keto for, it was probably about 5 weeks, pounding 80% fat every single day, every single meal, I had a blood test. And I'll just simplify it by saying on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh my God, you're getting right close to the ceiling. You shouldn't have triglycerides this high. Or 1, wow, those triglycerides are amazingly good. I came in at a 3 after pounding 80% fat every single day. Because, guys, you've been lied to by the medical community. Dietary fat does not kill you.
No.
As a matter of fact, many kinds of fats, like saturated fat, right? Oh, you can't eat bacon and eggs all the time because that's saturated fat. It'll kill you. Without saturated fat, guess what? Our cells cannot do what they are supposed to do.
Exactly.
They need saturated fat. And it doesn't matter how much we eat of it.
It doesn't. There's a difference between your fat cells shrinking and less of them. If example I got on Joe Rogan, if you want less fat cells, go get lipo. But if you
Right.
if you want to get skinnier, the natural way, all you got to do is shrink those cells. And
Yeah.
that's what this does. Another lie that has been told in the 1960s, and this is a really big one, and this is one that pissed me off all the way. 1960s, the sugar industry funded research that downplayed the risk of sugar and highlighted the hazards of fats. So it was a sugar lobby to make everybody buy everything sugar.
Oh, that's almost criminal, isn't it?
It's the fucking conspiracy, dude. This shit all plays into one another, man. They're trying to fucking kill us, so Big Pharma can drug us. They don't want us to get better, man. That's my true thoughts. That's my true feelings on the matter.
And I think you're 100% spot on. So let's not leave the audience hanging like, oh, well, okay, how do I do this? So with your permission, let's talk a little bit about how to get into it.
Engage.
Okay. First of all, learn about it before you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're dumb as a rock about keto, you just listen to Dave and Jay on this show and you try and go do this, you're going to fail. And of course, what do people say when they fail? Oh, well, the diet failed. It didn't work for me. Okay. That's bullshit. You wouldn't go into combat without making sure that you understood and you had your shit wired tight, right? Well, you don't go into this either, right? You have to do it with intent and purpose and know what you're doing. That means you have to do a little bit of studying. In my case, I spent hours and hours every night researching keto for 3 weeks before I pulled the trigger on this. Now, the best 2 sources I'm going to share with you right now, they're both on YouTube. One is a guy named Thomas DeLauer. That last name is spelled DeLauer. Auer. And he is phenomenal with the amount of science and information. Jay, you probably watched some videos of his also. The second guy I mentioned earlier, Dr. Eric Berg, 27 years in practice, and he's a big keto guy. Now, there are some other people out there, but I found these two guys to be the most credible and they must have the most greatest volume of the kind of information that you want to get going. Now, after you've got yourself educated, what do you want to do from there? You want to sit down and plan your meals and your snacks. When you watch the videos by these guys, you'll find out about the snacking part of keto. You want to plan your meals and your snacks in advance because it's a whole new way of eating. I mean, 80% fat and 5% carbs, and you want to limit your protein to about 15%. That is so far outside the norm. If you don't sit and plan your meals in advance so you have some idea how to hit the ground running on day one, you're going to fail. So you need to plan your meals out. One of the ways you can do that is you can get a mobile app. There are many of them out there. I'm going to suggest, because I really like it, the one I use is called Simple Stupid Keto. You can actually build sample meals into the meal builder and see what the macros are. Macros are your protein, your fats, and your carbs. So if you know you need to be 80 fat, 15 protein, and 5 carbs, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to have a little bit of chicken. I'm going to have, 2 avocados. I'm going to have a couple pieces of bacon. Okay, so that's right, wrong. And you can add and subtract and start putting things together for yourself. So then once you've got an idea what these meals are actually going to look like for you, and I got to tell you, you got to be a little creative because 80% fat doesn't come easy. But there's tons of keto menus out there on the internet, on YouTube, and just on the web in general. The only thing I would be cautious, because keto is a big buzzword now for marketing. Be cautious. Run the macros yourself on your mobile app to verify that it is coming out to that 80-15-5 equation. Just because something says on the internet, oh, this is a keto meal or a keto snack, don't necessarily believe that. Okay, so then once you've decided you got your menus and your snacks down, then you want to go out and shop specifically for it so you've got the things in your kitchen to succeed. One more thing I would suggest, this is not an absolute must, but I would suggest you get a ketone blood meter. I'm going to tell you why. The strips you're going to see when you do these when you watch these videos, these strips you can urinate on, right?
I got those. That's the only thing I have.
There's some downsides to those. There are various things that can make them not give you the best or most accurate results. So it's kind of iffy. And I'm one of these people, I like to know, not suspect. So something that's iffy kind of doesn't work for me. So then there's one you can breathe into. They're supposed to be very reliable, but they're ungodly expensive. The meter's like $200. And here's why being expensive is not really important, is not really good, in my opinion, for this. I got a $60 ketone blood meter that came with 10 strips. I got it from a website called Keto Mojo. And by the way, when I say Keto Mojo, when I say Simple Stupid Keto, these people don't know me. I don't know them. I'm not getting a penny from saying it. It's just what I've used personally. So I went to Keto Mojo, and for $60, I got a meter with 10 strips. So what happened is I was about a week in, because here's what I thought. Jay, I don't know if you had the same experience. I thought when I flipped into ketosis, the clouds were going to part, the birds were going to sing, and I would just know that I was in ketosis. Well, that didn't really happen, especially because, from days like 3, 4, 5, 6, you have a little bit of that, which you referred to earlier, that keto flu, where you're like, I don't really feel great. And I should clarify for the audience, that's a very natural thing, because your body is, to be blunt, freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And saying, where are the carbs? I've lived my whole life consuming carbs. I don't have any carbs. I'm losing it. And then you flip into ketosis and that's over. But there is you don't feel excellent for a couple of days there. So then on day 7, I use the blood meter. And there's a scale for being in ketosis. 1.0 is considered pretty much the floor. You may or may not be in ketosis, but it's generally presumed if you're 1.0, you're in ketosis. 1.5, you're certainly in ketosis. And the highest that the meter goes is to 6. So on day 7, I wanted to know So I checked my blood and I came out to 5.4, which is pretty dramatic because it's almost to the top 6, which is as high as the meter goes. It's also not where you want to be full time, but it was evidence that I was in ketosis. I waited 30 days and I tested myself again because you don't want to be at 5.4, that kind of high level for forever. Because what happens is the longer you stay in keto, your body becomes more and more what they call keto adapted, which means your body starts loving consuming ketones in your blood. You know, ketosis, ketones are putting all this together, right? So your body starts loving consuming ketones. And by the way, the reason your body consumes ketones when you don't have any carbs, your body, your organs can run off of fat.
Yes, they can.
Your brain cannot. So your body in this, I don't have any carbs, which the body calls a starvation mode, right? Starts creating these ketones so that your brain has something to run off since there's no more carbs. And so, which is why you feel so much more alert and mentally focused when you're in ketosis. So when I tested it 30 days later, I was 3.1, which is pretty much the range you want to be in, around there. Because what that signified, when I was 5.4, my body was producing ketones, but since I wasn't really ketone adapted yet, it wasn't consuming them at the rate that is desirable when you are keto adapted. By the time I was 4 or 5 weeks in, my body was to some extent keto adapted, and therefore it was consuming the ketones out of my blood, using them for energy. Hence it went down to the range of about 3, and that's where you really want to be when you're in keto. Let me say one more thing about being keto adapted. That varies. Some people become keto adapted in 4 weeks, some people 8 weeks, some people 12 weeks. It's not a hard science. And that's one definition of keto adapted. The other thing is, after you've been on keto, say 6 months as an example, and you choose to cheat a little bit one day, which does not mean have a piece of sugary pecan pie. That's not cheating, that's losing it.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you cheat and you go out of ketosis for a day, day and a half, once you've been in ketosis for 6 months or longer, then you have that little cheat on that day. And that doesn't mean cheating all day. It means having a cheat. Then when you get back into the keto diet mode, your body will go back into ketosis smoothly within 24 to 48 hours, and you'll be rolling right back where you were because your body is fully keto adapted. Does that all that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want your audience to get lost because I know it's new to them.
Your body's going to freak out regardless, but there are methods of doing it. You know what? I'm not even going to touch sugar. I will not touch it. I will not have pie. I love pie. I love it.
Me too.
Fuck
You know, it's funny that I use pecan pie because it's my favorite.
It is delicious. I am a Southern man, and I was raised on it.
Yeah, but I don't know if you feel this way. My health is so much more important than that crap.
It is. And I love fucking fountain Coca-Cola. I just love it. And it's poison, man. Shit is poison.
Yeah. And I wonder how many of the people listening to your show right now, are thinking, wow, that sounds like it's a dramatic shift in how I would live my life as far as diet is concerned.
It is. I mean, in a way, you put more thought into it. Not going to fast food, you'll save a lot more fucking money.
Right.
You save a load of money doing this shit.
I want to tell your audience, you can do some fast food. I'm going to give you 2 examples. I live in a small town, so there isn't a load of fast food. But one of the things we have is a Carl's Jr. And if it comes time for, I'm absolutely starving because we haven't even gotten into intermittent fasting. We should probably talk about that.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. So I'll go to Carl's Jr. Let's say my fast is over. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, I've decided I fasted long enough. So I'll go to Carl's Jr. and here's what I get. This is just one example. You can create your own as you become more keto knowledgeable. I get a Famous Star, which is a single patty, right? I get a Famous Star. I tell them no special sauce. Why? Because it's got ketchup in it, and ketchup is incredibly sugary. So no special sauce. Then I tell them I want double cheese because the fat, right?
Yeah.
I tell them I want extra mayonnaise,
Fat, oil.
fat, oil, exactly. And I even have them give me a little side cup of mayonnaise on top of that. And then I tell them lettuce wrap, so no bun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are probably, if you like that kind of food, the Carl's Jr. thing, you're probably thinking, oh, that sounds terrible. That's gross. Exactly the opposite. It's fucking fantastic. It tastes great.
Well, everybody's used to bread and used to a bun, and it's just that's what they're accustomed to, and I think that's the biggest thing is you are accustomed to breads, you're accustomed to carbs, and having a hamburger without buns is like, what the fuck am I doing? This is bullshit.
Now, I don't know if where you are, you have a fast food chain called In-N-Out Burger.
No, we don't. I'm in Kansas City. We don't have nothing like that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Out on the West Coast, it's a big deal. They're very popular. It's almost a cult thing, right? They got great food. So for your listeners on the on the West Coast, I want to share another example. I went to In-N-Out. I had a friend fly into Vegas for a day. We were going to spend some time together. So I drove into Vegas. So I went to In-N-Out Burger, and I had a double. For those of you who are In-N-Out people, you know what that is. I had a double. I told them hold the onion, even though I love onion, because it's not really keto friendly. It's pretty sugary as vegetables go.
It's the greatest vegetable of all.
Yeah, and I told them extra cheese, and I got to tell you, when you tell In-N-Out extra cheese, this damn thing, it was like, you had your two beef patties, then you had another patty of cheese. They put so much cheese on it. It was great. And then I had them lettuce wrap it. And now that's on the fly. I'm running around Vegas. I'm hanging with my buddy. And the macros on that came out to 23% protein. So we're a little over that personal maximum of 20% protein. But I had thought ahead. Jay, this is what we're talking about in planning and executing this correctly. Mm-hmm. I had brought in an ice chest a couple of fat bombs.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as Stan and Jen and I were done, we went out, got in the truck, opened the ice chest. I did the macros on the Simple Keto app, right? Said, okay, how many fat bombs do I need? If I add one, where's my macros? If I add two, well, let's see if I add three. Okay, so to get down to about 18% protein, I need to have 3 of these little fat bombs, and they're delicious.
They're
delicious,
amazing.
My girlfriend makes them. They're lemon coconut.
Ooh.
And each one is like the size of like a little ice cube from the ice tray. In fact, we make them in the ice tray.
Yeah.
We had 3 of those. I would have 3 of those.
That's
my
macros
macros
like,
were perfect. So I point out you can do this on the go. You don't always have to do it at home.
Aren't they close? Okay, fat bombs. Okay, no, it's not an oversized chick cause. Okay, yeah, she'll give you that fat bomb. So
Keto Claymore.
Yeah. So what I do with my fat bombs, I just get coconut oil. I'll melt it and I'll mix it with it's a protein powder with 0 sugar in it. It's the cookies and cream, and I just mix those together and put those in an ice tray. And they're probably about, I think, like 40 grams of fat. And a little avocado in there, oil too. It's pretty damn great.
I'm getting hungry just you telling me about it.
And it's a little sweet treat. Boom, no sugar in it or anything like that. So okay, we got to break this down. I got folks in here asking me what should I eat. I'll tell you what I eat during the day. I do a 16-hour fast during the day. When I wake up, I don't eat shit. I drink water all day long. When I get home, I have a big ass ribeye, 4 eggs, and 2 or 3 of those mozzarella sticks. And I'll drink water. And that's my diet. And fat bombs during the day if I got to. If I'm feeling just crazy hungry. But that's just me personally. I'm at 84 grams of fat, 67 grams of protein, and 12 grams of carbs a day allowed. And I don't ever hit 12 grams ever.
Yeah. So for you, I don't know what your goals are. What's your average calorie count per day?
Probably about 1,200.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're keeping it really small.
Well, I started at 280, and I'm just like, what the fuck? When I got out of basic, I was a brick shit house. I don't mind the weight part. What I mind is the fat part. So I'm not going off of what the scale tells me. At this point, I am. From this high weight, I'll see a dramatic drop of fat before I see any muscle putting that weight back on. But at this point, it was 280. Now I'm down at 262. And I've only been doing it for 2 weeks. I mean, that's a shitload of weight. Been working out, and it's just rolling off. And I'm trying to stay real strict to it till I get down to maybe 240. If I can get back, I'm 6'2". If I can get back down to 240, I don't care about being 300 pounds just a muscle. That's crazy. I mean, that's a crazy goal. But I just want my chest back. I want my neck back. I want my legs back. I want to have a body when I put my tattoos out. Girls be like, God damn, that's a fine Viking. So
Right on. You know, I'm down, I think I said 26.5 pounds. My goal is to go at least another 20. And let me tell you what my physical goal is, not the scale goal. I'm one of these guys genetically, I've never seen a six pack. Even when I was in the Rangers and I was running, 5, 6, 12 miles a day, whatever it was, I never saw a six pack, partly because of the crappy fucking food, right?
Yeah.
In the military, you're not eating gourmet food. And partly because of my genetics, I always had just a little pad there and I never saw a six pack. Well, I've been in the gym like 34 years and I've still never seen a six pack. And when I say in the gym, I mean 6 days a week. Okay.
Shit.
So, and pounding the weights and doing the cardio, and I've still never seen one. So my goal using keto, my goal is to trim the excess body fat down to the point where I can clearly see a six pack. Now, this year, just a couple months from now, I'm going to turn 59 years old. Wouldn't it be awesome to see at 58 or 59 a six pack for the first time in my life? With keto, that is in my opinion, a very realistic goal, and I will let you know how that pans out, Jay. On the diet thing, can I give them a couple examples from my diet as well, so they know that this isn't like some horrible thing where you can't eat?
Engage.
Okay. I don't fast every day. I fast 3 to 4 days a week. On the days I don't fast, when I get up, I have 2 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, a big ass avocado, and a tall glass of water that I've squeezed lemon into, so I'm getting real vitamin C, not the pill form stuff, right?
Yeah, we want to cure that scurvy.
Yeah, and I also take a pound, an ounce to an ounce and a half of shredded cheese, and I toss that on top of the 2 eggs, and I cook the eggs in a tablespoon of bacon grease, and when I put the eggs on the plate, I pour the bacon grease over the eggs and then put the cheese on top. Now, this sounds pretty delicious, right? But people who have bought into the Western dietary culture, that SAD we talked about, standard American diet, they're thinking, oh my God, if I eat like that every day, I'm going to have a heart attack. No, just the opposite. You've been lied to. It's bullshit. Another thing, just last night for dinner, I had about 4 ounces of salmon, okay, grilled it on the barbecue.
Delicious.
What's that?
Delicious. I love salmon so much.
Yes. Fresh salmon. And then took, I don't know, probably about 4.5 ounces of asparagus, pan grilled it with garlic and avocado oil, because unlike butter, that has a much higher smoke point, so you can sear things like crazy in the frying pan with avocado oil, which is super, super healthy and 99% fat. And so then I saute it all with garlic. By the way, watch your garlic. Don't go overboard, because garlic is really carb intensive.
I'm not big on garlic. I don't like it that much.
Yeah. So for me, when I'm doing just for myself, I use 1 clove. Because I used to be a huge garlic guy, and then it turned out I discovered as I started keto that all of a sudden my carbs jumped up. I'm like, what the hell? So be moderate about that. I put it on the plate. Now, here's the thing. There's a brand, I think it's called DiGiorgio or something. It's Alfredo sauce, right? Now, this particular Alfredo sauce, it's got 10 fat to 2 carbs. So I take a serving of that, which is a 1/4 cup, heat that up, and those asparagus that I just did with the garlic, and I pour the avocado oil over them when I'm done. And I do them, of course, al dente, just fry them in the pan. And then I pour this Alfredo sauce over it, right? The macros come in perfect, and it's delicious. It's more than delicious. It's orgasmic. Right? So the point is that I don't want people to think that this is something you cannot do. I have a pizza meal that I do. It's kind of funny. It's not really a pizza. I take pepperoni, right? And I slice it. 2 ounces of pepperoni is all I use. And I slice it to little pepperoni discs, so to speak, and I put them on the plate. And then I take mozzarella cheese. And I take about an ounce of mozzarella cheese, ounce and a half, and I cover the pepperoni. I do the asparagus thing again, just like I described before, because asparagus is amazing, and it's amazing for you. Very super healthy, especially on keto, and it's fast to do in the pan. I do other things as well, but for this scenario, I still do asparagus. So then what I do is I take the plate with the pepperoni covered in mozzarella cheese. I put it in the microwave and I nuke it for like 20, 25 seconds, and it melts the mozzarella cheese over the pepperoni. Okay. And then I put the asparagus on the plate again, covering it with the Alfredo sauce, right? So that's kind of like the Italian thing, right, with the Alfredo sauce and the garlic. And then I've got this cheese melted all over the pepperoni. So when you grab a piece of pepperoni that's covered in this melted cheese and you stick it in your mouth, it tastes like pepperoni pizza.
This is a thing we do in our show when we describe ingredients. We play porn music in the back. And all, and everybody's saying they're getting chubbies right now. So after you, bud.
So I hope they take away the point that this doesn't have to be a miserable diet experience like other diets are. This is the bomb. You get to eat shit you'd never be allowed to eat that's delicious, and you get healthier while you do it.
I feel like, I just feel strong again. I feel crazy strong. I was hitting something with a sledgehammer the other day, and about a month ago when I was trying to do it, I felt really fatigued afterwards. Now, I murder that thing, and I just feel the flow, everything. I just feel way stronger, and everybody out there, I got to be real with you. Your libido goes through the motherfucking roof once you're healthy. When you feel healthy, dude, I got to tell you, you are an ox. I mean, you are the hammer again. You feel like you're 20 again. I'm telling you, dude. Like, you guys out there, you're not laying it right to the missus. You get on this shit, give it 2 weeks, and just hit the gas on that ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. And guys, y'all know me. I'm not big on bullshit. I'm really not big on bullshit, and I really don't tell y'all to go do dumb shit. I tell y'all to go smoke weed, do whatever the fuck you want, do what religion you fucking want, the golden rule. But now this health thing, man, it is real important. And now that I've hit 32 years, and I'm just like, I feel like dog shit every day. There's got to be something wrong, and it just clicks. Like, the fuel I'm putting in my body, it's delicious, but it's not fuel. It's like trying to put standard gas into a fucking F1 racer, you know? I'm not saying I'm an F1 racer. If I had to compare myself to any kind of vehicle, I would be a dually truck probably. But it's like putting standard gas, bullshit gas, into a diesel. It's not going to fucking work. And you gotta put that good shit in your body. The biological makeup of your body is not used to. There's been peoples since humans have been around, since we've been eating, have been fat dependent. There's these cultures, these Eskimos, and I feel horrible because Eskimo, I suppose, is a derogatory term these days. But these people up there eating pure fat, and they have never had a problem. I'll give you another example. It's called the Western disease. When America started the fast food chains and all these things, and then they went abroad, all these other countries never had the health problems we had, or heart problems we had, or anything like that. before we came and did this shit. Put this fast food bullshit out there. Nobody had this problem. They were eating good, eating healthy, eating off the land.
Absolutely. Quick word about diabetics, if I may, because I don't want to leave them out of this conversation and have them potentially hurt themselves. If you're type 2, this diet is golden for you, because type 2 is usually driven by being overweight and eating the wrong things. So if you're type 2, this is beautiful for you. Don't sweat it. There's no problems. You'll probably find that you'll be comfortable 2 or 3 weeks in, even getting off any oral meds that the doctor gave you, because you won't need them anymore. And make sure that you do a lot of studying about how keto affects insulin, okay? Because that's important if you're diabetic. If you're type 1 diabetic, it's also good for you, but work closely with your doctor. Do not let your doctor tell you no to this, because these fucking idiots, we already talked about how they have the heads up their ass. So the doctors, oh, no, don't do that. And they're going to talk about something called ketoacidosis. Okay, let me tell you that if you're type 1 diabetes, you have the tiniest increased risk of ketoacidosis. But if you work closely with your doctor and you continue to test yourself and eat right, you will be incredibly blessed by keto in your life. But work closely with your doctor, but do not let him tell you no. Okay, do not let him scare you with ketoacidosis. That's one of the scare tactics they use, and it's complete fucking bullshit. So diabetics, there you go. Type 2, you're golden. Type 1, you'll be good, but you do need to stick to your routine, keep testing yourself, and work closely with your doctor in the blood tests.
Yeah, you don't want to get the sugars, people. You don't want the sugar. Don't let your kids have Coke either, man.
No. Can you imagine? I cannot imagine anybody who's learned the kind of things, Jay, that you and I have learned, allowing our kids, now I'm beyond that point, but allowing our kids to do something that we have learned is poisoning ourselves.
Yeah.
You don't love your kids if you do that.
I agree.
In my opinion.
I agree with you. It's all about that education, and I can't hate on people that's not educated on this diet or whatever. They haven't learned it. It hasn't come into their firing zone. But now that we have the internet, and I hope people actually look this up and actually study and learn. I really just hope that you guys can take a little bit from this and get a little bit healthier. And you don't have to put your kids on a keto diet. You don't have to. They can eat fruits. Fruits are okay, but just a little at a time. The point of the keto diet is to drop the carbs. Not saying that once you hit your goal, you can again hit the carbs. And you just want to start a goal and complete it. And you can come off it anytime, but you will see results if you put the work in. You've got to put the work in. You've got to get the education behind it. You've got to study. Don't believe shit we say. This is the point we're trying to make, is that the government fucking lied. We don't want you to listen to us like the government. We are not the fucking end-all be-all about this shit. And I certainly am no expert, but we're just saying, we're trying to give you like steps just to go check it out. Give you enough information to go check this shit out. Learn for yourself. Educate yourself, because, I mean, stay here with us. We don't want you dead. We don't want to 20 years down the road, you die from a fucking heart attack or you stroke out when you're fucking 40 or whatever, because the shit that we eat. And another very important thing is sleep. You sleep great on this shit. Of course, I use CBD oil, and that really helps me with the injuries I got. But I sleep. I can put my head on the pillow and just zonk out. I don't even really drink. Actually, I drank with Spanky. I did have a little bit of Jameson and zero sugar ginger ale. That was fucking great, actually. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but it tasted really great.
Yeah, I'm not anymore either. But we will say this. When you consume alcohol, it does stop your body from burning fat when you're in ketosis for several hours until your liver is done processing the alcohol, and it stops the ketone production because it can't handle the alcohol and doing the things that it does that causes your body to burn fat and produce ketones. So that your ketosis process. It will not throw you out of ketosis. That's an important distinction, but it will pause the process until your liver has processed the alcohol. So, for instance, you have a couple of shots, two, 3 shots, you're probably done for about 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yeah, and that's not your goal.
Yeah.
I stopped. I retarded my ketosis the other day, last week. I haven't touched alcohol since.
Yeah. I don't think it's a big deal. Jen and I have discussed it. If there's a special occasion, we'll probably do like a shot of tequila.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing is, too, once you're fully keto adapted, alcohol will hit you stronger. So a cautionary word if people think they're going to go out and hammer a couple of Long Islands after they've been in ketosis for a year.
I just, honestly, I'd rather, other than drinking, I'd rather just hit a pipe full of low THC, high CBD marijuana and hit it and just be good. I'd rather just do that if I'm going to celebrate. I don't want to get stupid high, but that's, if I had anything like to celebrate with, that would be it. I don't even like getting, I'm scared of getting too high. I'm scared of it. I won't do it.
Yeah, I don't personally smoke weed, but I'm a big advocate of complete legalization and get the government fucking out of it.
Let's do this. Let's go down this road. And also about your election for sheriff in your county. Let's go down this road.
Okay, so I believe in total legalization of pot because, to me, it's just tyranny. It's a fucking plant. What does the government have any right to get involved in that? But my point is I have a lot of friends who get quite a bit of therapeutic benefit out of weed, whether it's for psychological issues or things like fibromyalgia. So my thing is, if somebody wants to, get a little buzz on and alcohol is going to retard your ketosis, take a hit.
My buddy Dimitri said he lives in Colorado. He's smoking that loud. Oh, all right. We talked about this, but anyway, so I want the decriminalization of it. I want to get the guys that have zero violent charges, drug charges, but zero violence behind it. I want them out of jail. I think jail is a fucking business, privatized business and slavery machine. But caveat, law enforcement is absolutely needed. And I really respect the cops, and I respect the bullshit they have to put up with on both sides. They have to deal with it when they get to up top from the head shed. They got to deal with their orders they're getting, and they might not agree with those orders. And then they got to deal with the bullshits on the streets that they can't even change because poverty or whatever the situation is. Cops have it fucking bad.
Yeah, it's a challenging job. But here's the thing, and I discussed this with a lot of working cops today who know my background, and every good cop I know says the same thing. They say, as I do, the job is so easily done right. Why not do it right?
Break that down for me.
What's that?
Break that down for me. How's it? I don't know the right way or the wrong way. I know I just live life by the golden rule.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that should go into the job. I'll give you an example. Especially back in my law enforcement days, I was a big yoked motherfucker. I spent, hours in the gym every day. And I when I had a vest on and I had all my gear on walking down the street, I looked like a waddling fire hydrant, this big plug walking down the street. And yet, that doesn't stop knuckleheads on the street from wanting to box or whatever they want to do, right? And I worked in the hood and the barrio. Okay, I worked in what a lot of people would consider to be, it was very high crime. What a lot of people would consider to be high gang activity areas. Okay, I actually worked narcotics and gangs, and so I was working with the Crips and the Bloods and MS-13 and White Fence and all this every single night, and I only worked at night. And I probably had to physically put people in handcuffs less than 5% of the time. The reason for that is no matter how combative the person was, and I don't mean he's trying to hit me in the face, that's a different equation, but his attitude is combative. I always spoke to him like a human being.
Yeah.
Now that does not apply to when they're drunk off their ass or so high they don't know what you're saying. There's no sense in wasting your time in those circumstances. It's not going to make a difference. But when they were in their right mind, and I always talk to people exactly the way I would want to be spoken to if I was in their shoes. It doesn't matter whether I know the person just committed a crime. It doesn't matter that I suspect the person committed a crime. It doesn't matter if I think the guy's a stone fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not there, and this is a very important point. I'm not there in uniform to allow my personal emotions to color what I'm doing. Okay. I am there in an official capacity. And the best way to get from where we might be at the initial contact to where we need to go, which perhaps is arresting the person, is to treat that person like I would want to be treated in their place, to treat them like a human being, to understand that this is a really negative contact for them. They know that they're going to go to jail. And the last thing they want to do is go to jail one more fucking time and have to go to court one more fucking time. But because I had a sense of, and I've always been this way, I've had a sense of empathy concerning, and you see in these videos, especially, the cop abuse videos and whatnot, you see one of the common threads is the cop says do this and the guy gives him some lip. And the cop immediately lowers the boom on him as far as violence. Okay.
Yeah.
And, I always look at that and I say, why? Are you getting paid by is there something that you like lose money if you don't make the arrest in 37 seconds? Because I was always willing to take the extra minute or 3 minutes or 6 minutes to get somebody into handcuffs without having to beat them down. And that's just one example of the job done right, because our job is not to beat people down. Our job is not to fuck people up.
Yeah.
Right? Our job is to what? Enforce the law. And there's a lot of discretion in that. Most misdemeanors, probably 97% of the misdemeanors out there are discretionary. You can arrest them or you cannot arrest them. And my big equation was always, which is going to produce the outcome that's best for the people involved and for the community. If the course of action I needed to take that I thought was best for all concerned was taking this person into custody and booking them and entering them into the justice system, I would do that. If I thought the best way to do it was to encourage, for instance, two people to come to an agreement on something, okay? Look, if you guys can work this out, I'm just going to stand here for a couple minutes. If you guys can work this out and figure out a solution, then I don't have to arrest anybody. And I think we all like that idea, right?
Right.
And they just go, yeah, that's right. And so I would help them along in the process of figuring out something that worked for them so I didn't have to arrest them. But the watchword in my mind was always, what is best for everyone concerned, and on a broader scale, what is best for everyone in the community. I used to sit my butt down in my unit every single night, and I'm not exaggerating, this is not hyperbole, this is the God's honest truth. I would put my butt in my patrol car, and the very first thing that would come to mind is, okay, what I'm about to go out and do must improve the community I'm serving. Which I will tell you was not my community. I was one of these guys that lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And I would drive down into the hood of the barrio, right? So it wasn't my community, but nevertheless, my job was to understand the dynamics of that community, right? Not mine, because they're not the same. Understand the dynamics there, and what could I do during the course of my next 8, 9, 10, 12 hours to make that community better for the law-abiding folks that live there. And when I say these things aren't the same, I used to tell the men under my command all the time, look, a guy down in the hood who's got 3 misdemeanors may be the guy that comes to your rescue when you get in trouble and 3 guys are trying to kick your ass in an alley at 2:30 in the morning. He may be the kind of guy who's going to jump in and help you out. Where if you were in the suburbs, right, the predominantly white suburbs, a guy with 3 misdemeanors, you're like, what the fuck? This guy's a criminal. This guy's a bad guy. So there's different standards in different communities. And so, all of this is part of understanding the job, doing the job right. There's some technical aspects I won't get into because I'll probably lose some of your audience. It's more, sort of police industry jargon, and I want to get into all that. But these are some real life examples that people can understand that there's a better way to do this than just being a tough guy and saying, do what I say or I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah. It's the ego thing. I mean, you take your ego out of it.
Yes, absolutely. And people I would get out of the car and say, hey, man, can you talk to me for a second? Fuck you, motherfucker. You fucking prick, you asshole. I never took that personally because he doesn't know who the fuck I am.
I mean, exactly, man. He's come across it so many times. He's been a pit bull backed into a corner so many times and had so many negative experiences. What guarantees him that you're not going to do that to him? So he's automatically on the defense.
Yeah, and I used to look at a bunch of other cops and say, you need to knock that fucking shit off, because now every time I get out of the car, I got to wear the jacket you motherfuckers created. Okay? And when I get out of the car and somebody would launch on me, when I'd say, man, can I talk to you? When they sort of ran out of breath, I'd say, whoa, hang on, Tiger, hang on. I just want to talk to you. I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to throw you to the ground. I just want to talk to you. Okay? So let's just talk and see if we can get through this without any of that other bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay. Because my goal was never to take anybody to jail unless they made me. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah, well, yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of law enforcement doesn't think that way. I've got a buddy of mine who's a working cop right now, a younger guy, and he tells me that he has that same encounter even today, 25 years after my day. And he says the same thing. He goes, have I ever done anything bad or mean to you? No.
Well, let's look at the dynamics of that. The younger cops is just like your Buck E5. Once you get those stripes, you're trying to prove yourself to your senior NCOs, and you kind of want to be a hard charger. But the difference is, like, the military is a whole different ball game than the general public. And these young guys kind of want to impress the older generation of police officers, and they want to be by the book. But sometimes you got to use a little bit of logic. You kind of got to use a little bit of morality, I believe, in that situation. And it's touch and go, obviously. But I think there's a little bit of tribalism also in law enforcement.
Oh, yeah. I've always had this thing that I consider a positive, but in business, it's gotten me in trouble sometimes. And that is, let's say you hired me for something, Jay. I've never really felt that where there's customers. Let me be clear about that. You hire me to do a job where there are customers.
Yeah.
I've never felt that Jay was my boss.
Good point.
I've always felt that the customers were the boss. And if Jay tells me to do something which is going to damage the image of the company with the customers, which then hurts the company overall, I would always have a problem with that. And that's kind of, I took that into law enforcement because my point of view was, who I work for are the people of the community. The structure that exists to provide that service, they may have lost track of it, but they also work for the community. So a lot of times, you get management or administration that, well, we got this policy, we're going to do that. Well, really, you know that that's not at all what the community is looking for. And you're just going to alienate the community further than you already have by, in your early steps, not listening to the community. Now, listening to the community doesn't mean disregarding the law.
Exactly.
It means, how are you going to go about this? What's the old expression? There's ways to do things and ways to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And I said earlier, I said, that I would, every night I would say, how am I going to make things better in this community for the law-abiding citizens? Okay. They're number one, right? Do I want things to be better for the gangsters? Yeah, I do. I'd like to see them get out of gangs. I'd like to see them get their mind right, get healthy in mind and soul. I'd like to see them pursue a different kind of life. But that's not my number one priority. My number one priority are the law-abiding citizens who are going about their life and want to lead a safe, secure, and relatively comfortable life to the best of their ability in the circumstances that they have.
What you've done is taken the fear out of the equation. And that seems like the root cause of things, because there's people driving around now that are just fearful, even driving, for no apparent reason. And once you get a Leo like yourself in there, and take the fear out of them and treat them like a human being, I mean, fear makes you do crazy things, and yeah, and that's a human aspect of it, man. And you hit the nail right on the head with that.
I used to work a lot of low-income housing projects. That was kind of my thing. My teams did, and I would go in normally, go in not in uniform, around sunset, and I would watch what would happen in these low-income housing environments. And what you would see is all the parents would run out. They would grab their kids. They would bring their kids indoors. All the music would go down. The TV, the radio volumes would go down. The doors would close. The curtains would pull, and it became like a prison as soon as the sun was setting. And that was because the gangs ruled with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to stand out in these low-income housing environments. They didn't want to stand out and have the gang members have any reason to turn their attention on them. You sure as hell didn't want your kids outside, right? So I would go with my guys, and we would saturate one of these areas for, we'll say 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we would completely suppress the gang activity. Then at sunset, I would walk through one of these low-income housing projects. The music would be playing. The kids would be out riding their bikes. The parents would be sitting outside chatting because they didn't have to live in fear anymore.
Exactly.
And if you wanted to know what I loved about the job, that was it. There was a lot I didn't, which made me leave, but that's what I loved about the job, making a difference in people's lives.
But caveat is that you're going back into it to be big dog and train these troops right.
Yes, that's true. I live in a county called Nye County in Nevada, and Nye County is one of the largest geographic counties, but it has a relatively small population. We're adjacent to Clark County, which is Las Vegas, so I'm literally like 55 minutes from here to the Strip, so to speak. And the New York Times several years ago called Nye County one of the 10 most corrupt counties in America.
Oh, shit.
And that's nowhere less visible than in the sheriff's department, which is a fucking mess. False arrests, violence, lying on the witness stand. It's a mess. And their standards, we talked about a little bit earlier about how to go about the job. Their standards here are shit. It's really what it is it's a bunch of guys that are still mentally adolescents,
Mm-hmm.
running amok, raising hell because they can, which of course is not professional law enforcement, not even in the ballpark.
No bueno.
Right. So I'm running for sheriff. I sat it out last time because, running for office, I'm not a politician, and it's terribly ugly here in Nye County when you run for sheriff. It is the most ugly race of any campaign, any politician at all in Nye County. It's running for sheriff because there's so much on the line for the people who are corrupt and so forth.
Yeah.
So I sat it out last time, and it got dramatically worse.
Oh,
So
no.
this time I said, you know what? I in conscience to my community, to where I live, my friends, my neighbors, I cannot sit it out. And more importantly, when I win, I intend to make this a model agency and create a template, a blueprint, if you will, that I can share with others in other communities across the country. Because all you have to do is scale the equation, right? It doesn't matter that this is a small agency.
Yeah.
All you have to do is scale it. If you've got the steps, scale the steps. And to assist people in other communities, because improving police transparency and accountability is a huge movement in this country right now. So I'm intending, once I win, after I make the changes here, to provide a template or a blueprint to people all over the country on how to make these changes in their agencies. And can I take a moment and pimp maybe getting donations from people who think that this is a worthy cause?
By all means.
Thank you. You can go to sheriffchampion.com. There's 2 buttons on the page. One is policies. You can click on that, and there are video renditions of all my policies. Well, not all of them, but many, many, many of them that I intend to invoke once I'm sheriff. The other button is donate. And I mean, whether it's $10, $20, if things are going good for you, $50, every penny is appreciated. And let me tell you, because corruption is such a big deal here in Nye County, most of the wealthy people that fund the other candidates that they know are going to look the other way for the corruption, the big money is with them. So I'm looking at people like your audience, Jay, all across the country who say, oh, hell no. No, 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 no. The big corrupt money is going to keep Champion from being a sheriff. Fuck that. Those are the people I'm looking for support.
Hell yeah, because power with the people.
That's right. In numbers, we will prevail.
You know, I mean, I say down with the government all the time. I mean, I hope they succeed, but I'm a real tinfoil hat when it comes to, like, there's levels, there's white belt, black belt levels to this conspiracy, and, like, I'm saying black belts like aliens and shit, but this blue belt, brown belt area of geopolitical corruption, I am dick deep into this stuff, and I don't trust fucking anybody up at the top. It's all fucked to me, and for you to come out and, like, charge ahead, tip of the spear, trying to change a whole community to squash that conspiracy and just get it transparent again, let the people do what they do. I mean, it is power with the people, and you're right, the police, it's a public service. I mean, that it's all in the title, public service. We are servants to the public, and that's how it should be. People should not be scared of the police. They should be. I remember growing up. I grew up in Petal, Mississippi. It's a real not urban. Well, Hattiesburg's a little. Anyway, I was taught, like, trust the police. They came in there with their dogs and everything, and they were just trying. We were little kids and everything. But the older I got, I saw it got way more violent, and our police force had more of an iron fist, and everybody in my city was scared. But there's very little crime. There's not a lot of gangs where I'm from, but I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like the feeling that I had to fear all the fucking time. And I don't think anybody should be like that. I feel like that about with religion and all that stuff. Like, I just don't want to fear. I don't want to have something just looming over me all the time, having the fucking switch out, ready to whoop my ass. I hate that fucking feeling. Like, you ain't my daddy.
Right. Yeah, and it's, again, it's so needless. That's the part that kills me. The average citizen, and, you know, I'll give you an example. The other day, there was a guy driving along here, and when you put on his blinker, he moved to the right. He was making a right turn. He moved over to the right against the curb so he could be as much as possible out of the lane so cars could proceed past him and he could make his right turn. I think we all do that, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty common sense.
Common sense, yeah.
Well, there's a bike lane there. So the cop pulls him over and writes him a ticket for driving in the bike lane. Now tell me, how does this enhance public safety?
It doesn't.
No.
If the man clearly saw that there was nobody in the bike lane, I mean, technically, he was driving in the bike lane. Technically.
Sure.
And that's what the cop's probably doing. He's working on technicalities. Is there a quota? Is that real?
It is in some places, not in others. Here in Nye County, this current sheriff that was elected 3.5 years ago, she initiated motor patrols, on bikes, on motorcycles, that had never existed or hadn't existed in years out here. And all they do around, now Nye County is the third poorest county in Nevada, and all these assholes do is drive around pickpocketing drivers for little petty stuff like I just shared with you. One of the things they were doing the other day is we've got a big highway that runs through town. I mean, it's not like a freeway, but it's a highway called 160. And they've got a spot where there is these flashing lights for pedestrians to cross. You push the button and the lights start flashing, and then you can walk. And it's probably, I'm going to guesstimate, about 130 feet from one curb to the other. And what these motor cops were doing is they had a plainclothes cop. he would push the button and start to walk. Right now, everybody from both directions is supposed to stop. The plainclothes cop would get 100, let's call it 130 feet. He would get 129 feet across the intersection. So he's all the way at the other side, right?
Yeah.
If somebody proceeded through the crosswalk, they would pull him over and give him a $300 ticket for driving in a crosswalk when he was a pedestrian.
Fucking scam.
Right. They're pickpocketing, right? You wondered why I'm a sheriff. I'm running for sheriff. This is why. This kind of being a predator upon the community rather than a servant, as you said, a servant to the community. They have no sense of being a servant to the community here. None.
That's fucking crazy. Like when I see these cops on bridges, like doing they had their radar out and they're sitting on top of a bridge over a interstate or whatever, and they're zapping people and pulling them over down the road. Like the only time I ever call the fucking cops on anybody ever is if I see them drunk driving on the roads. That's it. Like,
right.
It seems like entrapment, man. It really fucking does. It's just like going fucking 5-10 miles an hour over the speed limit on the interstate. Shit, you're more likely to get into a wreck if you're going slow.
Right. As a matter of fact, that's been proven that it's not speed that kills, it's disparity of speed. So if the speed limit's 60 miles an hour and you're driving 40, you are more likely, if you get in an accident, to cause injury to others than if you're all driving down the road at 60 or you're driving at 65.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of how ugly it is out here in Nye County. I'm reading this to you. There's a website called Topics, TOPIX.com. It's a gossip website, and people can post. Everybody posts anonymously there, so they can say whatever shit they want because they're anonymous, right?
Yeah.
So there's a thread concerning me running for sheriff. So let me tell you how ugly this gets out here, right? Here's one of the posts that was put on Topics about me. Champion left California. I lived most of my life in California. Champion left California in a midnight move after officials set upon, it says true, but that's obviously mispronounced, to chemically castrate him. He was deemed a monster, and the only contact he had with law enforcement was when he was an inmate.
What?
Yes, I shit you not.
Dude, you're gonna look. Let's be honest. You're gonna get trumped up there. Like not trumped as in overshot. They're gonna trump you like as in they're going to throw everything fucking at you.
Oh yeah, that's how much they fear my becoming sheriff. Is they say shit like this.
And this is coming from. I would assume that's coming from the opposition.
Oh, absolutely. You know it is.
That's fucking sour, dude. This oh.
Even though this is a small county population-wise, let me give you an example of the corruption. The guy that's making the most money off of corruption, he's actually a contractor to the county, and I can't get into what he does or his name because I intend to investigate it when I'm a sheriff. Well, I've already investigated. I intend to move on it. Based on his corrupt actions, he is clearing in his several businesses here an extra $1.8 million a year off the people of Nye County.
What the fuck?
Yeah. If he wasn't scamming the county would be getting another 1.8 million from his companies. But he's scamming the county. So when I talk about the fact that the big money people here are all lining up behind the couple of candidates who they know will look the other way for the corruption and not interfere in what's been going on here for 20, 30 years, these are the kind of people I'm talking about. And they have big money, and they're trying to align against me because they know, I mean, I've heard it from people who are close to them that they've said if Champion is who he says he is and he does what he says he's going to do, not only are we going to lose our money, but we might lose our freedom. And they're absolutely right about that. So when I asked your audience to please contribute, they hopefully have a better idea now of understanding what I'm up against, because all the big money people that you would normally, if you're running for any office, you would want big money support, right?
Yeah.
So you can win. The big money is all the corrupt money.
Dude, I mean, this phrase is overused, but I mean, it's fitting. It's draining the swamp, dude.
Yeah.
It's completely overused, and it's comical to me at this point. But that's what you're literally going in there to fucking do. Is I hope you. Oh my. If you do it, we're gonna throw a fucking party, dude. But we're just gonna be so happy, and we're definitely gonna follow this shit because I am all about that bass, no trouble, man. I'm just ready to bounce these motherfuckers out. I hate corrupt lying ass motherfuckers. People don't care about people. I mean, I say the majority care. People give a shit, but once you get that position of power, once you have that fear, it's just this shit is crazy. Yeah, Pookie cronyism. It's fucking crazy that you would do this to people. A whole population that don't want to have nothing to fucking do with you. Keep them safe. Keep all the bullshit out. Let them do what the fuck they want to do. It is not your position as law enforcement to dictate the lives of these people. Let them do what the fuck. Just let them feel safe. And that's what you're going in there to do. And I got much love for you, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You know, I just hope that in this crazy upside down corrupt county here, you know, the people who live here feel just like you do. And, you know,
I'm scared for you though.
we'll
Like
see
in
what
the
happens.
position I'm looking at this from an outside perspective. I'm like, poor guy, he's got to go up through all this. I know everything that matters in life has a fight to it, and you got a fucking long fight up Hamburger Hill, bud. Whew.
Yeah, it was funny because when this shit first started about 6 months ago, it kind of really, you know, there was an emotional impact. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? People are saying these things about me because nobody said anything like this about me, this or even anything even within 1,000 miles of shit like this, until I said I was going to run for sheriff. And so I had to adjust myself emotionally to say, okay, just water off the duck's back, let it go. You've got an agenda. Fuck all these assholes. You're there just like back in the day, you know, 25 years ago. You're there for the good people in the community, and just carry on. And that's what I've been doing.
So, like, I'm having a fantasy about your campaign speeches and stuff like that. Like, I assume that you'll just go out there and just talk like you talk, like, and talk real to the people, and not have all this political jargon bullshit and trying to spin everything. You seem like a stand-up, legitimate, point-blank, no bullshit type of dude.
Yeah, the very first thing I say when I'm talking to people is, I am not a politician, because they need to know that, because what they're going to hear from me is not going to sound like a typical politician. I had somebody the other day. One of the things that I don't like is I don't like the fact that our president lies consistently. Whether you support Donald Trump or not, I presume that most people like me have a problem with that.
I just think he's hilarious.
Okay, well, I don't see the lies as funny. So, you know,
touche.
I think the office should, you know, have a little bit more credibility than constant lying. So somebody on Facebook said, I'm not going to vote for Dave Champion because he posts stuff that's critical of Trump, and I like Trump. So I said, well, hang on, let's look at the critical component here. Is anything I've put on my Facebook page factually inaccurate? Because if it is, correct me. I would appreciate that.
Exactly.
If it's accurate, then what you're saying is you just don't like the fact that I'm posting shit that's true. Okay? And that's a problem for you. That's not a problem for me. And he comes back and he says, it is a problem for you because I'm not going to vote for you.
That's fucked.
And I said, good, then don't. I'm not a politician. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop stating the truth because somebody threatens not to vote for me. Fuck you.
Yeah, go eat shit. Go fuck yourself. Go up the river, bud. Take your vote
Right.
and shove it up your ass.
Now, I'm sure a politician would be, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't mean to offend. Let me explain myself. You know what? I'm me. I've always been me. When this fucking thing is over, here's what I've always said. Whatever the November date is for the general election, we'll call it the 10th for the sake of this illustration.
Okay.
On the 11th, I've got to look in the mirror and see the same fucking guy that I saw a year ago when I first decided I was going to run for sheriff. This is a transitory thing, this campaigning, this having to be called a politician, because I'm running for office, right? This is a transitory thing. I'm not going to change me so that the day after the election, win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be somebody different, or I'm going to look and say, you know, did I really do that? Fuck that.
Good point.
Being me and being genuine and standing up for what I believe in and telling the truth and being factual, that's all I am, and that's all I know how to be when it comes to these sort of things. So if people don't want to vote for me because that's who I am, okay, don't vote for me. I'll lose a vote. Okay, but what are the anybody who doesn't vote for me? What are they losing?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've said on my television show, I've said, I don't take this personally. If you all, speaking of the voters of Nye County, if you all don't elect me, it doesn't reflect shit on me.
Yep.
I know who I am. I know my worth. What it means is that for whatever reason, you chose that you wanted the corruption to continue because I'm the only candidate that's going to clean things up, and everybody's very clear on that in the community. So I think, okay, it's it's you. If you choose to let the corruption continue, that does not reflect on me in the least. It's going to be disappointing because it'll continue, and that's disappointing. But if I wake up the day after the election and I look at the headlines and it says, the Dave Champion was not the sheriff, I'm going to be, oh, boo-hoo, they rejected me. No, you chose corruption.
Yeah.
Carry on. How may I be of further assistance to you at this point? I can't. So carry on.
Please don't get suicided.
A few people have brought that up. There was that sheriff, I think, back around in your part of the world, that he got elected and he was going to go after some of the bad guys in the agency, and they just shot him dead.
Fuck, that would break my heart, Dave Champion.
He hadn't even been sworn in yet, and they shot him dead because he won the election.
Fuck.
So, well, fortunately, I'm a lifelong firearms advocate, tactics, use of force instructor. I've even instructed the vaunted handgun combat master program. I've taught advanced combat rifle and every other discipline you can imagine. So, hey, anything's possible, but I got to say one thing. They're going to have to work at it.
My man, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, you're a ranger. They don't know. Dude, this is fucking 3D chess. You got all my support, man. And you know what I would love actually? When does this start kicking off?
Oh, we're in. The primary is June 12th. So we're in the heat of it right now. And this is an interesting thing, and this is another reason why financial help from everybody would be really cool. Nevada has an interesting law. If the office is nonpartisan, which sheriff is here at least, I know many places it's Republican and Democrat, but here it's nonpartisan. Mm-hmm. If it's a nonpartisan race in the primary and any one candidate gets 50% or more of the vote, they become the sheriff-elect and do not have to stand election in the November general election. Oh. So my hope is to pull that off. There's 9 candidates, but there's really only 3 that matter. Myself being one of the 3 that people know the name and more or less what we stand for.
Yeah.
So if I can take 50%. That would be just fabulous. And it gives me 7 months then to ramp up to walk in on day 1 and just hammer.
I would love, I'm going to follow this like crazy, dude. I would like to get you on here just to talk about the process just down the line. And like when you become sheriff, if you possibly can, just to come on the show, tell us how things are going. And this interests me because it's like a microcosm of what's really going on in the big scheme of things.
Yes. What's that sheriff's name there? Well, he's no longer sheriff. He stepped down. Black guy was on a lot of the conservative talk shows. I'm having to see. Oh, David Clark.
Yeah, that's his name. That's his name.
Now, you remember David Clark. I mean, he sort of faded from view, but for a while there, David Clark was all over, the television talking about this subject and that subject. And he was a county sheriff, and suddenly he had a national voice. And, Jay, that's exactly what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to be so novel. And, I'll probably, this is going to sound a little weird for a sheriff. I'm probably going to go out and get a publicist. And the purpose of that is not for me personally, but to bring the accomplishments that we achieve here in Nye County, to bring those out. And I hope to end up like David Clark in the regard of having a national voice to talk about law enforcement reform, dramatically increase the transparency and apply ironclad accountability and show that it works. because the big claim now with a lot of people is you're hamstringing the police when you do that. Oh, bullshit. Since when is transparency and accountability hamstringing people who are doing their job in accordance with the law?
Exactly. Exactly.
And brother, I'll come on your show anytime. You let me know when you want me on to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm here.
Dude, this has been one of the greatest interviews ever, dude. Like, my whole team's hit me up on Facebook like, oh shit, like, yeah, this is a good one, man. I'm like, I am glowing right now. This has been shit. We went from keto to kicking ass, and I guess they go hand in hand. Dude, I hope you get just the most success to you, and we here at WTF Nation Radio got your back, man. And anything to smash out corruption, we do a lot of that. Like we talk about corrupt people all the time and trying to get people awake about things, and it's a beautiful thing about the internet. I got to say that there's a lot of bad about the internet, but there's a fuckload better. It's information on the fly, and I'm really glad we live in that age of the internet where we can find things out quickly. And
in the age of the internet, ignorance is a choice.
Exactly. I'm gonna tattoo that shit on my arm. Well, Dave, I gotta get out of here, man. But much love, dude. Everybody, just give it up and go. Where's your social medias? Where can they find you?
Okay, on Facebook, which is where I probably do most of my stuff, it's Dave Champions Liberty. That's the page. Dave Champions Liberty. If my television show, obviously most everybody listening is outside the range of the station. So I do cut it up by topic and put it on so you can see the show there as well. I do what they call wall rants. I have these infamous things called the angry truck rants, which is kind of one of the things that put me on the map several years ago. So there's a lot going on there. And again, my sheriff's page is sheriffchampion.com.
Hell yeah.
And of course they can follow me on Instagram at God, what the hell am I on Instagram? Kellyanne Cattell. I can't remember right now.
Let me look it up. I think I got you on Instagram.
All right.
I think I got you.
And while you're looking that up, Jay, it doesn't have to be on the show. I mean, you got something to talk about, pick up the phone and call me, man.
Dave Champions Liberty also on Instagram.
Oh, it's Twitter. It's Dave_champion. I knew one of them was different. Yeah, on Twitter, Dave_champion.
I'm still learning Twitter, man. I'm not good at it. I hear it's evil in there.
I'm not really good at it either.
But that's where all the kids are.
Yeah, it's funny. I got 148,000 followers on the Liberty page. I think I've got 16,000 on Twitter. I don't know. I don't know why.
Look, when you do become sheriff, if you get kids eating Tide Pods, just take them out in the middle of the city and whoop them with just a belt. Just whoop that, or snorting up condoms like dumbass kids. Just go take a belt to their ass.
Man, oh man, yeah. There's actually one of the videos on the policy page on my thing. I talk about what we need to do with our youth, because that's an area that's really dismal here. Everybody's too involved in corruption to put any money into our youth, and I find that appalling, because the youth, who's going to be running the fucking country when we're aged?
It's in shambles, man. Kids are fucking crazy these days.
They are, and to a great extent, it's our fault.
Oh, it is. I think it's completely our fault.
Yeah, we're the adults. We're the parents, and shit ain't going right.
Shit ain't going right, man. We gotta. There's some good parents out there. Don't get me wrong. Not all of you are assholes, but a lot of you are fucking assholes.
Right on.
If your kids are fucking saying "fuck you" to you, you need to go drop that power bomb on them and slam them from the top rope. Go whoop that ass, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna get out here. I gotta do some house cleaning. Dave, man, anytime, and I will hit you up anytime, man.
Thank you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, you have a good, safe night, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a interview. What a interview, people. Hey, Dimitri, not all of you motherfuckers are shitty parents, but some of you motherfuckers are shitty parents. I don't know if anybody in here is shitty, but nobody thinks they're shitty until they're shitty. You know what I mean? Nobody thinks they got shitty pants until they got shitty pants and they got a booty stain right up in their toot. You know what I'm saying? You can't have all that. So, Spanky. I don't even know what she's doing.
That's me. I'm thanking our guests for coming on.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm doing.
Touche.
Doing work.
Dude, what a interview. I like this motherfucker, man.
I'm glad you did. I figured you would.
I like this motherfucker.
I think you have kind of a little bit of a man crush going on here.
Dude, he's a beast, man. He ain't giving me nothing but knowledge. This man's just filling my spongy ass brain piece with knowledge to the 10th degree. This motherfucker's a black belt in discipline. Like, Minx was probably right. This motherfucker probably is my idol, and I don't know it. You never know.
You never know.
You'll never know. What time is it? It's the 47 past the hour. Who says that?
Well, you just did.
It's 47 past the hour, and we're going to have to clean this bitch.
Housekeeping.
It seems a little bit too early.
No, I do. But I could, every time y'all say that, I think of like the little lady on South Park. Or not South Park, Family Guy.
Housekeeping.
And Lemon Pledge. Those are the two things that come to mind every single time y'all think about it.
Lemon Pledge does smell fine. Keto law enforcement. You goddamn right, cause. Health and transparency. That's what we're preaching today. Health and motherfucking transparency. And you need to get a dog. If you're a dog person. I can't trust you if you're a cat person. Or if you own a yacht. If you own a yacht, I don't trust you. I don't think any of you guys own a yacht. But if you do, sell it and give that money to Sheriff Champion. His name's not Dave to me no more. It's Sheriff. Sheriff Champion. King shit. Cleaning stuff up. Making the world a better place. Making his community a better place. I think we should all... Oh, yeah, it is 13 minutes before the hour. Should I do a weather? Should I integrate weather into the show?
Whether or not you should integrate weather? Is that what you're asking me?
Whether or not should I integrate weather? Well, should I do top of the hour weather? It's kind of...
I'm not in charge of making decisions. Stop making me make decisions.
Look, we can do global weather on top of the hour.
Globally, the weather is going to be different every fucking where. There's going to be some snow over here, a tornado
I'm talking
there,
about
a hurricane here, a sharknado on this fucking coast. God damn it, Jay. Do Jay things.
Well, the earth is not flat, so... The weather is sparse apart.
No, of course the Earth's not fucking flat because the goddamn cats you don't trust would have knocked all the fucking shit off. You know, my new roommate cat that I have, she knocks all the shit off my goddamn counter.
She is a sweet feline, though. She's super sweet. And she didn't get me sick. So shout out to Casey.
Yeah, Casey cat is... She's my favorite asshole cat. I love her to death.
She's super, and she's chill, and she like minds her own fucking business sometimes, and I like that.
Yeah, unless she's hungry, then she's got a lot of fucking shit to say.
Tank is a footrest, and I like that too.
Bad sleepy fuck. I love him.
Fucking turd.
Yeah!
I had a
yes. Y'all got to meet, you know, all the furry creatures that live in my house.
Oh, Lord. I got 10 minutes. We can do 10 minutes of what the fuck ever. We can do... I don't care. Dude, how fucking gangster were those recipes?
No, I started to get hungry. I'm like getting a little angry right now because you kind of know me well enough that, you know, when I start to get hungry, I get a little mad. I kind of snuck off into the kitchen and shove some meat in my mouth because I still have tons of that in my fridge.
You get all this for just $19.95.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I can't. Where's the boat? Wait, there's more.
When your laundry detergent just isn't enough, supercharge it with OxyClean.
Where the fuck did I find this? It's so random.
You are so random. You scare me with your randomness sometimes.
I am. Oh, let's see. What is this one? Ooh. Oh, Throw Mama from the Train. I like this one.
Get me a soda with some ice in it.
Do you remember the mom in Throw Mama from the Train?
Do you know how long it's been since I've seen that movie?
I want 2 soft-boiled eggs, white toast, and some of that grape jelly, goddammit.
This is gonna. I'm saving this fucker.
Chop, Owen, come on.
Wait, that sounded like Timmy.
Oh.
Owen loves his mama.
Oh.
Who the hell are you all of a sudden?
I love this.
You don't have a cousin Patty.
Dude, I'm just gonna throw this on guest every single time.
You little bastard, I said you'd desert me.
Oh, yes.
Get off your fat little ass or I'll break it for you.
Yeah, that's gonna be on my forever, ever, forever. We're gonna put out some of these videos. We got a webisode. Me and Pookie's got a webisode called "Hello Bitch Lasagna." We're gonna put out. That was pretty fun. Also, we got videos from the investigation in Texas. That's gonna be the shit. Those are pretty good. And I got one of Spanky saying, I go up to her in the middle of the whole thing and I say, "What do you think?" She's like, "This is bullshit."
You make it sound so mean.
I don't think you said bullshit. But you're like just the way your face said bullshit, and I think you said.
They asked me if I had anything to ask, like the ghost. I'm like, you know damn well I don't have anything to ask the ghost.
Oh, it's so funny to me. I gotta find my things. I've got to find my things. Sometimes I'm just not.
I sent you things.
Oh, where?
I send you things every Saturday, and every Saturday you ask me where I send you things.
I know, I'm a dick. I got it right here. I'm just playing with you. Oh, we got some guests. I need to play my things. I gotta pee too. You ever get the pee dance just hit you at the wrong time? It's just.
No, I just put it on mute and go pee while you're talking. Because see, that's the thing about not having a camera on me. I can do that.
Oh my goodness! I'm thinking peeing right now. Nope, it's still there. I haven't done it. It's not true. All right. House cleaning time. It is house cleaning time. May 1st, Jessica Scott will be on the show. Jessica Scott is an Iraq war veteran, an active duty Army officer, and the USA Today best-selling author for novels set in the heart of America's Army. She is the mother of 2 daughters, 3 cats, 3 dogs, wife to a retired NCO. She also written for the New York Times at Warblog, PBS point of view regarding war, and IAVA. I don't know how to say that. She deployed to Iraq in 2009 and was part of Operation Iraqi Freedom, New Dawn. That sounds like a movie. And has the honor of serving the company commander at Fort Hood, Texas, DOS. She holds a PhD in sociology from Duke University and has been featured as one of Esquire magazine's Americas of the Year for 2012. Jessica is also an active member of the military's Writers Guild. Wait, Okay, and on April 30th, on a Monday, Chad Garland will be on, covering Afghanistan. I guess that's fitting. Covering Afghanistan for Stars and Stripes, Chad is a veteran of the Marine Corps. He has reported on business, politics, justice, and national security for newspapers in California and newswires in Oregon. Oh, I said it. And D.C. prior to joining Stars and Stripes. Chad holds degrees from the University of Illinois and Urbana-Champaign and Arizona State University. Urbana-Champaign. It's not campaign, that's Champaign. Anyway, fuck, I thought this list was way longer. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And as always, we're brought to you by War Horses for Veterans. If you want to go check them out, it's warhorsesforveterans.com. They are equine service provided for combat veterans in Kansas City. They will feed you, they will house you, and they will bring you back to your senses. It is a prescription for motivation. And I truly give that 100%. And as always, on every Saturday, the Veterans Report. You got to check that out, man. He's putting out good shit. I like this guy. He hasn't interviewed me yet, but I can't wait till the day. But they're regulated by the FCC, so I can't say my favorite word. Fuck. I can't do it. Because the FCC will fuck them real bad. And we can't have that in our relationship, you know what I'm saying? We can't have that at all. And I don't want anything to fuck that up.
I want 2 soft-boiled eggs, white toast, and some of that grape jelly, goddammit.
Mama, I can't have toast. It's got too many carbs in it, okay? I just can't have it.
I asked for the salted nuts. He brought me the unsalted nuts.
I'll give you some salted nuts, Mama. I will give them to you if you want, all right?
Yes, you did.
I know I did. And everybody, we're weird. We're fucking weird. And I don't know how to explain it any more than that. I'm weird, you're weird, we're all weird, and we're all dudes. Spanky's a dude, but with lady body. I'm a dude, you're a dude, we're all dudes. Hey, you got anything for the nation, sweet love?
Oh, no, obviously I just need to tell them all sweet dreams and stuff.
I hope every one of you have the sweetest of dreams, and I hope you have a unicorn come down in your dreams and snuggle your bosom if and you're a woman or not. I hope it cuddles you with the magnificence of gods upon the earth, where they can collectively treat your soul as one of the village people. And as always, if they stand behind you, protect them. If they stand beside you, respect them. And if they stand against you, defeat them. I'm Jay Reddy, and we out.